Hi again, Gregg of the News Tribune here in Minneapolis. Beautiful stadium, by the way. Glass windows, glass roof, open doors this evening on a 70-degree night in Minnesota. Really fabulous place. Super Bowl here, of course, was a couple years ago. Tonight's second preseason game for the Seahawks is all about the injuries right now. DK Metcalf needs knee surgery, Pete Carroll announced after the game. That's why the rookie wide receiver didn't play tonight. Carroll said the surgery is scheduled for Tuesday. Interestingly, he said that they didn't catch it until a couple days after the injury occurred that Metcalf practiced on last week. Had they caught it or unsaid whether Metcalf had reported the pain in the knee a couple days earlier, they could have perhaps gained a week in having the surgery last week rather than this coming Tuesday. Pete Carroll said there's optimism, as there always is with Carroll, that Metcalf could be back for the season opener. That's September 8th. That's 19 days after the surgery date scheduled. I don't know, that's kind of pushing. Even for an basic arthroscopic surgery, 3 weeks is usually a standard recovery time. And there would be no sense in rushing him back for week one when you got 15 more games after that. And the Seahawks hope longer than that of Metcalf being a contributor this year. It's the first setback for Metcalf, as you know, has been the star of the spring and summer of the Seahawks, the 6'4", 229, 4'3" wide receiver that nobody in the Seahawks camp can cover. Would have had 2 touchdowns in the preseason opener last week against Denver. I think if Russell Wilson was the quarterback. Geno Smith throws a little beyond the wide open receiver who got past both of Denver's cornerbacks. And now he's set back with this. It's going to be a mental challenge for him. I asked Russell Wilson what he tells Metcalf in a situation like this, his first setback of his pro career, and he says, nah, he shouldn't be discouraged. This is part of the game, and that we, the Seahawks and everyone watching him, will still see how great of a player Metcalf is about to become. Questions at wide receiver still behind Tyler Lockett, although Jerron Brown tried to make some answers tonight with 2 catches for 56 yards, one a 33-yard catch on third down that was set up the Seahawks field goal. Russell Wilson in the starting offense I thought looked sharp, especially in the details. The Vikings brought some pressure, brought some blitzes, not as many as they would in a regular season game, but they brought some and brought Harrison Smith at safety up the middle and off the edge a couple times, for instance. And the Seahawks front 5 offensive linemen stopped all that, repelled all of it, gave Wilson time to throw deep on the double move by Brown on the 33-yard gain across the field to set up that field goal I mentioned. Wilson was pleased with the protection, so was Dwayne Brown, the left tackle, playing also for the first time this preseason after sitting out last week. Wilson, though, lamented 2 throws on third down and ended the 2 drives. One was to Chris Carson in the red zone. Wilson threw low and outside of Carson, who was wide open in the flat and would have picked up a first down and maybe a touchdown. On the first drive, he threw a little bit high to Brown, but it went right between his hands. Brown, high ball, went right between both hands. He should catch that in the NFL. The offense had 5 first downs in those 2 drives. They moved the ball well, but only had 3 points to show for it. Chris Carson got a lot of action after getting none last week. Rashad Penny didn't get going nearly as much as Carson did after the game. Pete Carroll said, don't read anything into that. Left unsaid was Penny was running behind a second, third, fifth team offensive lineman rather than the starters. We saw a huge difference between the starting offensive line and the second and third team and fourth teams because of injuries. Marco Jones, for instance, didn't play, so Elijah Nkansa had to play behind Brown at left tackle. He got a holding penalty and then gave up a sack on consecutive plays. Defensively, Poona Ford once again excellent, making a case to be an every down defensive tackle, especially when Jarran Reed's going to be suspended the first 6 games of the season. Ford broke into the backfield, unblocked, dumped the running back, caused what should have been a fumble, could have been a fumble, ruled forward progress down, so no fumble, right against the Minnesota goal line. Ford has been known as a run-stopping defensive tackle, of course, last year as an undrafted rookie. He's really making a push to be an every-down defensive tackle, how he gets into the backfield. Jamar Taylor finally got his chance. I've been writing about him for a couple weeks. He got his chance with the starting defense as the primary nickelback. He got beaten for a touchdown in one of Minnesota's scores in the 25-19 loss. He also defended a couple plays, stayed in coverage. All in all, just validating that he's had a strong camp. I think the best coverage camp in practices, so he got the 5th starting nickel, 5th defensive back job tonight. Deshaun Shedd was the dime in the first half. The Seahawks went dime a lot. They didn't blitz as much as they did last week against Denver, but when they did blitz, that was the only pressure they got. Once again, the front four had trouble getting any kind of pressure at all against Minnesota's starting offensive line. Shed, of course, the 88-yard touchdown on the interception return on a blown route. The receiver just stopped the route, the quarterback threw wide, and it went right to Shed. But what was interesting on that, of course, the reconstructed knee that cost Shed his first stint with the Seahawks when they gave up on him before last season, he outran everybody, and nobody gained ground on him over those 88 yards. I talked to him after the game, and he agreed that that was the most encouraging thing of that whole play. That and it seemed like the entire team almost running off the sideline to join him in the end zone to celebrate. Russell Wilson came off the bench, for instance. He wasn't even in the game anymore to celebrate with Shed. No doubt Shed is now back, all the way back, and if you thought he wasn't going to make the team, I've been telling you he's going to make it. Well, he is going to make it. He's already a Pete Carroll favorite, and he's showing he has the speed now back from that knee injury. Marquise Blair, back spasms is why he was carted off the field in the second half. Pete Carroll didn't make it sound like it was that serious. Of course, compared to DK Metcalf, the revelation he'll have knee surgery, it wasn't as serious. We'll see if Blair, the rookie safety, is going to be able to play against the Chargers 6 days from now in the third preseason game. Leno Hill might. He didn't play tonight. He's suited up, the strong safety did, pregame warmups, but did not play in the game. Hill and Blair are trying to get one of those two to determine whether they're going to be a starting strong safety that would move Bradley McDougald to free safety. Tonight, again, it was Tedrick Thompson, as it's been all camp, at free safety, and Bradley McDougald as the strong safety. When Blair came in, again, he was the free safety as he was all week. Of course, he was drafted to be a strong safety, showing his versatility before he got hurt. Lots to cover here. It's all on the newstribune.com and on Twitter at GBellSeattle. I'll catch an early flight back to Seattle, and the Seahawks return to the practice field on Wednesday. Thanks for watching.